we got beat today by a team with a culture, period. And it's a well-established culture, as we all know about it, and it's probably the best in the Big Ten. And that's where we got to get to someday. That's where we got to emulate. But not enough juice in the first half. Flat. Stood around too much. Turnovers that led to easy baskets, transition baskets, and gave them, you give a team who's on the road confidence and easy baskets, it gets them going, and that got them going. We had fight in the second half, not enough, too far behind. Throughout this year, we've showed that we have some really good basketball in us. It's won us some games in the Big Ten. We're not an easy out, but we're not good enough to beat programs with real culture, great culture, and that's where we got to fight to get to. And today was an example of that.
Mike, what's the message to the players when you decide to shuffle the lineup a little bit in the second half coming out, and how do you think they responded?
Yeah, well, as a coach, you sometimes you want to try different things, and you want to maybe try different guys. Q wasn't feeling well. He just wasn't feeling well. Didn't have enough. He tried. I commend him on that. It just, as you saw a couple times, where he was trying to catch his breath and all that stuff. So he's with the doc now. So hopefully it's just a bug and we can get rid of it quick. But the next man up, and sometimes when guys are out there floating, you got to remove them and get the next guy in and see if somebody's going to bring some juice and some energy or make some plays. And it's hard. We've been counting on some of the same guys over and over again. I thought in the first half we got it in our own way. Don't get me wrong. Michigan State had a lot to do with it. Well, and that's a part of character, culture, getting to a point where you don't beat yourself. But that takes time, and that doesn't happen just because you played well 2 weeks ago or the last 3 games or whatever. It's like this, and when you're building it, and you just gotta stick to what's really, really important. Keep talking about it. Certain guys will be on board. The guys that aren't, they're gonna learn the hard way, and you just gotta keep pounding the rock, and that's how you build a program.
John.
Mike, we've talked about the full 40 minutes ad nauseum this season.
Yeah.
And Zach mentioned that at some point, there's a conversation that needs to be had with, between him and the other players about you only have so many chances at this.
Well, that's what I said to them, John. I played, you think you have a lot of games when you start your career, and then you finally realize you get halfway and you're like, wow, I'm halfway done, or I only got another year left. For some guys, they only have 6 games left, maybe a 7th, maybe an 8th. Maybe, and then that's it. And the pain of discipline to play right so you could win, or the pain of regret, right? The pain of regret you can never change. And, it's hard when you're 18 to 23 because you're sensitive about yourself and how you feel. I'll be all right, yeah, whatever. We've all been there, including me. I regret my freshman year in college. Wish I had some of those games back, but I got more. And then you get to your junior, senior year, and you realize, I don't have many left with my boys, and we don't have many left in this year. What are we going to do about it? And we've had signs, as you guys have all mentioned and seen, pretty good basketball, and we've won games in the Big Ten and on the road against good teams. But today's a frustrating day because, man, you want to find a way to stay at that level against a good team like Michigan State, and we're not that program yet. We'll get there.
When at this point, do you think it's too late to get to that point this season, or do you
No, because you guys probably wrote us off, and then we go win at Rutgers and win at Indiana. None of you guys thought we'd win at Indiana. I thought we could. I thought we could have won today. That's just me. So that's why I took the job. These people don't think we could win here. Watch. We will. It's just going to be really, really hard, and there's going to be a lot of tough decisions, and you're going to have some nights like this. I'm built for this. And I'm going to find dudes that want to be built for this, and we know what we're doing. And can we go beat teams? Yeah, but we showed it too that anyone could beat us, and that's the frustrating part as a coach and as a player when you're up and down like that. And I wish we were more consistent. I wish we were mentally tougher. We're not. At times we are, and great example of that is when you're coaching a response to something, or your coaching reactions, instead of coaching the next play and getting ready for the next thing or what's coming up on the scouting report. And that's, you gotta build it. We gotta get to a point where that's not how we do it here, man. Or an upperclassman tells a young guy, hey, yo, man, that's not how we do it. That's not how Coach Rhoades does it. And we have a couple of days of that good stuff, and a couple of days we revert back to that, and we just got to continue to work through it and build it and keep teaching these guys the right way, what's going to help you win games in the Big Ten consistently.
Nick.
What's Monday? You talked a little bit about some of the things that happened in the first half out there, right? So some of the no pass shots, some of the turnovers. Is some of your frustration?
Yeah, it was more, two things. You're right, Nate, but we were buddy running back on defense even after we scored and gave up some easy ones in transition. Like they were leaking out, and our guards didn't recognize that. Like, you can't go in the press if they leak out. You got to get back. And we're buddy running, or we're running to our matchup and just leaving a guy streaking right by us. I mean, basketball 101. We talked about it. Hall takes the ball out faster than anybody in the country, and they outlet it up the court real quick. So if they do that, all right, then we're just back in it's defensive transition even after a make, and that caught us. And then I thought we had some just poor, careless turnovers that got them out and got them confident. Not as bad as there, but just not enough juice. And then what happened is I just felt we responded poorly to that today, and we stood around in the first half. We knew offensive juice, and I thought even in Northwestern we had some really good offensive juice and flow. We didn't have that. We got it more in the second half. We got downhill, drew fouls. We got some inside out. I mean, if you was tell me we 12 for 12 from the foul line and 12 for 23 from three, we're all sitting here going, oh, what? But not enough mental toughness, not enough emotional intelligence of moving on to the next play to be ready. And they haven't. Coach Izzo's team hasn't.
Joe and then Daniel.
Mike, Aikens had a great first half with 16 points. What would you attribute that to?
We lost them in transition. I thought our ball screen defense was poor early on, and that ball got hot out of the ball screen, and we had a couple guys out of position. Two of them for sure. I watched the tape tonight, Joe, and figured it out for four, but we just let them get loose. And you make one or two, you got to know who he is. And we put ace on him more in the second half, so he didn't get any, but then another guy scored. And Hall was a beast today. He's a beast. We didn't have an answer for him. He made him look like an All-American, but he's pretty darn good.
Mike, Zach mentioned kind of a lack of energy there in the first half. I think that's something we've seen on the road, not much at home. How does that factor into what you're talking about with building a culture?
Yeah, I think these guys play hard, but it's also, there's so much more to it. There's so much of being ready to play, and then making sure the guy on your right and your left's ready to play, and it all adds up. And I think sometimes you're playing not to mess up or not to ruin the game against Michigan State, instead of having the juice and the energy to say, nah, we're going to play, we're going to beat these guys. It's a mindset. You got to build a mindset. When you're building a program, the mindset's not always there. You talk about it, but it doesn't mean it's showing up every day. And I think that's been a lot of that this year. I think we have some guys that get down on themselves too early when some things don't happen, and that zaps energy. And like I said, when you're coaching, you're coaching players' responses and dealing with adversity more than the game itself. That takes a toll on you. And I think we've had that. I thought that was the first half today. I thought the second half we responded better. We had more juice. We played better. We played harder. We fought more. So, the thing about it is when you're an athlete at this level, you're going to get hit square between the eyes sometimes. And the most important thing about this, and this is the life lesson I hope I could teach our guys here, if they play for me, is you're going to get knocked down. Things aren't going to go your way. That's life, man. Let's teach ourselves through basketball that we're going to handle it the right way. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to fight. We've had it at times this year, but we didn't have it tonight enough to beat a really good team, in my opinion.
Last question, Matt.
Hey, Mike, there was a sequence, I think it was late in the first half. Jamil wound up with the ball in his hands, ended up in a shot clock violation. You took him to the bench, you went and sat down, you pulled him back over to you and talked to him. What was the message there? If you can remember.
Yeah, there's a few of them today, man.
And then what was the message after all of those?
No, I just think, he does such a great job moving without it and creating some, we call it ghost screens and slices. So it's, when the clock was going down, go play with the next guy next to you. I think it was Ace. Go play with Ace and get a ghost screen or go screen, hit and screen or slice it. That because he's not as good off the dribble as the next guy, but he's really good moving without it. I think that's what it was, yeah.